Welcome to Voice Bootcamp, a global name in unified communication. Hello, my name is Faisal Khan, CEO and founder of Voice Bootcamp Incorporation. In this self-study kit of deploying Cisco Unified Contact Center Enterprise with Cisco Unified CVP or Customer Voice Portal, I'm going to give you the introduction to UCCE with CVP. The objective of this particular course is to understand the overall features and functions of CVP and UCCE platform. We will go through the call flow, the integrations. You'll learn about the fully redundant system. You'll learn the basic understanding of agent desktop such as Finesse server and how to install, configure Cisco outbound option and many more. Now, obviously, like any course, in order to fully understand this course or be able to observe the information, one must have some knowledge prior to attending this course. And the type of knowledge that you would need is understanding of Cisco Call Manager deployment or Unified Communication, Unified CM, or if you may have taken the CIPT1 course. The basic knowledge of any IP IVR is definitely an asset. For example, if you have done Cisco UCCX course or any third-party UCCX, IVR product, then will definitely be helpful in this particular self-study kit. Now, whether you a server guy, network guy, doesn't matter, but internet work fundamental is definitely an asset. The ability to understand what the difference between routers, switches, firewalls, those will definitely play a good play a good role in learning the concept. Definitely, basic knowledge of TCP/IP is a must, and most importantly is knowledge about Windows 2012 Active Directory. Now, UCCE platform heavily relies on Active Directory, so therefore knowledge about such product is definitely an asset. So these are some of the prerequisites that you need to know and in order to fully understand this course. All right, so let's talk about Cisco Contact Center. So what is a contact center? Well, contact center is basically a solution that organizations often use to provide or interact with customers. A customer doesn't necessarily have to be a customer from outside. It could be an internal if you need to be. Usually, a contact center solution will be used to provide support or information inquiries to a business customers. Organization will use the contact center to interact with the customers on a daily basis. Now, it doesn't matter whether your organization is small or big or large. Contact center, every company has some sort of contact center solution, whether it is a one single line phone versus multiple inbound call coming to multiple agent. If you just call a company to the receptionist, answering the call happens to be a contact center as well, because you're dealing with a customer, right? You're providing information. Now, contact center is not something new. It wasn't built by Cisco. Cisco is a late comer into this field, in my opinion. Contact center has been around for years and years, even before Cisco became a company. Of course, we usually call it a call centers, but pretty much the same terms. Most contact center solution, whether it is Cisco or Avaya or Genesis, they're basically historically built on traditional platforms such as PBX. One of the most vital component within any contact center solution is your PBX, the type of PBX that you use. Now, the major component in contact center that actually matters is your ACD, or automatic call distributor, which is basically a platform that handles inbound call and makes a smart decision as to what to do with that call based on certain criteria. So the purpose of the ACD, or automatic call distributor, is to distribute the call to a specific group or a team of agents based on certain requirement. Now, the call will be routed based on the business logic that is programmed within your contact center script. So every contact center has some sort of a script. The scripts allows you to create a business logical call flow. Now, those call flow will be dictated by the business team, not necessarily the technical team. We, the technical engineers, don't get to decide how to configure this solution, script based on that. Now, agent can be selected to receive the call based on various metrics or formula. For example, one of the most common metrics is to select an agent based on longest available agent, or LAA, and minimum expected delay. Now, these are the two most common metrics or formula. However, there are more than these two, of course, two. So we will talk about we do talk about those in our administration and scripting course. Now, so these are the ACD's main functionality is to route inbound call to the next available agent or to a VRU based on the script that is designed following the business logic. Now, so the scripting part, which we will cover later in this course, as far as the deployment, we'll learn how to write a basic script in order to get our contact center up and running. All right. So what is Cisco's answer to contact center or call centers? Cisco offers the following solutions when it comes to contact center for enterprise. First is that they have a package. They have a product called Package Contact Center Enterprise, or PCCE. It is a pre-designed solution for up to 2,000 multi-channel agent deployed in a single box with two pair of virtual machine, providing all applications running from a single central single box, single virtual instance. Now, the package is good for any company that requires up to 2,000 agents. Then you have a hosted collaboration solution, which is for service provider. So most service provider who can offer this contact center solution as a cloud service to their end client. Keep in mind, contact center enterprise is a quite expensive product. Not everybody can or has the capability to deploy them. You're looking at from 18 servers to God knows 50 servers just to provide a fully redundant solution. Now, hosted solution can be partitioned for small business or for large business, doesn't matter. Even large business, sometimes they say, you know what, we don't want to host anything internal because of the IT costs, so therefore we're going to rent it out from a service provider perspective. The third product Cisco has is the UCCE, the Enterprise Edition. This is an edition that will be used by a corporation or enterprise who needs to provide their own call center solutions and in control of their own devices, providing call center service to their customers. Now, all of their contact center solutions, all of these three, will come in fully redundant design. That means that you must deploy them in a redundant fashion, so for high availability and serviceability. The package contact center enterprise, which is predefined, meaning is already installed, configured to a certain degree. It is a pair of redundant UCS server, simplifies some major feature of your deployment, such as management interface, less number of hardware, reduced time to install because it's already pre-deployed, and can support up to 2,000 concurrent active agent. Hosted, on the other hand, offer a cloud service to the client, supports small to large scale customers. It does offer a solution for your end customers so that your end customers can, like I said, lease agent based on their need, and then they can grow as opposed to invest too much on hardware or on infrastructures. The cloud service to the market with shared aggregation and administration layer across the tenant. There are certain products that will be shared between all the tenant, while there are certain products will be specific to those tenant. The enterprise, which is more industry-leading routing capabilities and CTI capabilities, supports single-site or a multi-site environment, supports multiple call manager cluster, and can support up to 12,000 to 24,000 agent on based on. I believe there's an additional product that we have to use to receive the 24,000 agent. So so that product is called a contact director. So the comparison between them, you have the three product, CCE, package CCE, hosted CCE, and enterprise CCE. Host pre-configured, package supports 2,000 agent. Hosted support from 2,000 to 12,000, and enterprise can go up to 24,000 should you choose to use the contact director product along with it. All of these platform will use the tested reference configuration, which is OVF template. It does provide the Cisco will provide the OVF template that can be deployed on the B series and C series server. When you do the enterprise edition, the full instance, Cisco does support non-UCS platform in some cases. However, you're going to have to make sure that all the third-party hardware does match Cisco's metrics. Now, when it comes to topology, package do not support the global topology, which we will talk about later. It does not support more than one agent PG or MRPG or VRUPG. Only one of those type are supported. For hosted, on the other hand, global topology is supported to connect to remote site. Enterprise edition also support the same. Now, for configuration tool perspective, on the other hand, package CCE will use gadget-based administration tool, whereas hosted and enterprise is partially gadget based, and most of the configuration is done through a 32-bit client known as the configuration manager. Now the reference design, that this is Cisco's recommendation for package. You got 2,000 agent, 4,000 agent is not supported in package, 12,000 agent contact director, they're not supported. Hosted will support up to 12,000. No contact director is supported in the hosted solution. Avaya PG, if you use a Avaya PG, non-reference design, then Avaya PG is supported in hosted environment. For enterprise, all these features are supported. Now, these are your deployment type. When you are configuring UCCE deployment type through the web interface, these are the type of deployment selection that you have. We'll talk about this later, more details. So what is the benefit of using Cisco's reference design solution? First of all, it is based on customers' expectation. It does streamline your design process. It avoids using the component and the feature, provides powerful and efficient replacement for your obsolete feature. So these are some of the benefit of using reference design. Like something that Cisco's recommendation. The approval process will be much faster for Cisco because you follow their guideline, for example. So so whenever you need to install this, you will probably download Cisco VF template and follow those requirements in order to achieve the functionalities. Contact center portfolio. The contact center can be divided into three different type of portfolio. You got Cisco Unified, CCE, Enterprise, Hosted, or Express. Or you can be all these three use Call Manager as a PBX. If you use a third-party PBX, then we'll call it. We usually call the solution Unified ICM-E or ICM-H. So whenever you use the word ICM, that means you're using a third party. So both UCCE and ICM is basically the same product. However, what makes the difference is that what kind of PBX you're connecting to. If it is a third-party PBX, it is ICM and hosted. Now, self-service contact center where no agents are required. In that case, you can use CVP or IPIVR. Self-service is, for example, sometimes you call a bank, right? Telebanking. the automated system is walking you through all the configuration changes. No agents involved, no human being involved. Well, those are called self-service, and they can be configured, or a solution can be provided using either CVP server or IP/IVR. UCCE, which is a suite of products working together. A UCCE product suite include ICM, Call Manager, IP/IVR, and CVP server. All these platforms are built on the existing network infrastructure that you might have. So for example, you can use Cisco IP phone for agent phone. You can use voice gateway for ingress and egress calls. You can use a Cisco LAN and WAN infrastructure to route the traffic. So all these contact center solutions are built on an existing solution that you might have. Now, of course, UCCE has many different components. There are core component, and then there are non-optional component. The core component, for example, are ingress gateway, egress gateway, voice XML. You will use the ingress to receive call, egress gateway to send the call out, VXML to process a VXML application. You have CVP server to provide IVR. You have the UCCE platform, virtualized voice server, which allows you to process the VXML using the Cisco's latest product called VVP server. You can use Unified Communication Manager as a PVX. Cisco Finas server acting as agent desktop service, and Intelligence Center, which is your reporting server. Now, the optional component, on the other hand, are, for example, MediaSense, which provides call recording. You don't necessarily have to have it. However, it is nice to have such a solution. Now, the Remote Expert, which is a solution that allows you to connect the customers to a specific individual with a more expertise to a particular subject matter. So it's a kind of a solution that you can provide for branch office or retail office customer to connect to a particular agent or particular individual, maybe able to provide the service better. Social Miner, on the other hand, provides interaction between Facebook's, Twitter's, collect feeds, chat, can be integrated with your UCCE to provide web chat, can be used for example, connecting, requesting a callback, solution like that. Cisco SIP proxy server, which is basically a module that in a Cisco iOS router allows you to configure proxy settings on a router to act as a SIP proxy. Could use that to route calls to Call Manager or CVP for inbound as well as for outbound. Enterprise chat and email, which allows you to set up online chat between the client and agent, as well as provide email support or provide email capability to the agent when, let's say, for example, a customer send an email to support@voicebootcamp.com. That email will go to not a group of agents, but to the next available agent. Silent monitoring allows you to monitor calls between the supervisor can monitor a call silently to ensure for quality control or for training purposes or for written recording purposes. Optional third-party components. Now, out of all this, one thing that I do not believe is optional anymore is a DNS server, because you definitely need DNS for Finas, so it's not an optional. You also need a DNS server for your Active Directory, so therefore that cannot be optional either. However, DNS server is one of the components that you can use. Load balancer can be used to route calls to multiple CVP server, for example, or you can send it to multiple web server, which is acting as a media server. Recording server, if you decide to use a third-party recording server other than Finas and MediaSense, you could use third-party. I believe the NICE is one of the product, Nuance, and few other product that may be supported with UCCE solution. A speech server such as ASR and TTS can also be integrated if you need to provide those advanced solutions. Now, wallboard, which is very popular within contact center. What wallboard does, it provides a dashboard on your LCD panel or screen, which basically may list number of calls in the queue, average handle time, let's say number of calls failed, things like that. So any statistic that you want to put on a wallboard can be done through a wallboard. Now you can make your own custom wallboard, or you can purchase some ready-made wallboard that are available on the internet. Workforce management allows management to provide more administrative tasks. For example, if you want to schedule agent or distribute agent to different skills, manage schedules, things like that, workforce management will be the component to achieve such tasks. All right, so as I said that UCCE must be deployed in both site A and site B. Both sides will have pretty much the same number of softwares. They will have a private network connection for Heartbeat, TCP Keep Alives, and the public network will be used to communicate with various other components. Both sides will provide features like agent greeting, outbound calling, courtesy callback, database integration, mixed codec, mobile agents, single sign-on, so and so. Both of the solutions can be deployed in the following topology: centralized, distributed, and global deployment model. Now, the optional component, for example, which could be media sense, remote expert, and social miner, SIP proxy, enterprise, these are all part of optional, and third party, of course, the one that we just talked about, DNS, wallboard, and recording server. So this is your architecture for your UCCE and the component and features. Now let's talk about design. If I want to have 2,000 agents, how many servers do I need? You need a pair of two UCS server, such as M4 model. You will configure virtual machine on these servers, and each virtual machine will define a certain role. So in this example, I have server 1A. With that server 1A, I have Logger A, call manager publisher, call manager subscriber, CVP operation console, PG1A, CVP server 1A, Finas server publisher, reporting, live data, identification server publisher, and admin server. So in technically I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 servers on site A. On site B, I may shuffle a little bit because I don't really need two CVP operation console because only one is required. So in replace of that, I will put a CVP reporting server. I also don't because I don't need there can only be one publisher. I don't need the publisher. In replace of that, I will put the ECE server, which is your enterprise chat and email. But I also have a Logger B. I have UCM second subscriber. I have PGB, CVP1B, backup CVP server, backup Finas server, backup reporting, live data, and identification server, as well as second admin server. So as you can see, between these two combined, you almost has close to 19 servers, 18 to 19 servers just to provide service for 2,000 agents. Can you imagine when you need 12,000 agents? For 4,000 agents based on the same model, M4, you need 1, 2, 3, 4 servers, and you can distribute the services. Some cases where you need more than 2 product of each. So as you can see, I need 2 CVP on one side, 2 CVP on the other side. I got one reporting server here, one second reporting server here. But for 12,000 is even more. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 server. Duplicate on the side B will also have 6 server. So in total of 12 physical server, M4 then you need to purchase. And then if you count the number of virtual machines, it will be definitely more than 30. The topology, UCCE can be deployed in a centralized topology, distributed, or global. When you do centralized, both sides of the redundant component are in the same physical data center, like in one computer room. You can actually connect a private link via a direct crossover cable. Even when they're in the same LAN, the maximum round-trip delay should not be between the two sites should be 80 milliseconds. The data center includes a core contact center component and unified CM. When you're dealing with distributed environment, each side of the redundant component are located in a different geographical location. The distributed data center allows you to keep running on the other side if one data center fails. Now you can of course handle all call routing without sending contact to a data center in a different geographical location. And maximum round trip delay should be also 280 milliseconds. So that will restrict you how far the second server should can be. So for example, if you are sending a traffic from Canada to US, most likely it will be less than 80 milliseconds. But if you're sending a traffic from Canada to India, you're looking at minimum 200 milliseconds. Global, on the other hand, where you have a centralized or distributed data center for your core, you also have a remote data center that is generally in a different geographical location. Any extra peripheral gateway and their peripheral can also be in a core data centers if needed. Now, having a remote data center gives you local access. So for example, you might have a call center in India serving customers in India. That call center can be integrated with the call center that you have in, let's say, US. But the purpose of the India call center is serve the local client, whereas purpose of the US call center is serve the US client. But you can interconnect between them so that you could actually use US data center could use the agent from India if they need to. So in this case, a remote data center requires a separate call manager cluster, separate FINAS server if the response time between them is greater than 80 milliseconds. Now this topology will fit outsourcing model where outsourcers has a separate peripheral gateway and corresponding peripheral. The global topology is not supported in the package CCE. So that's pretty much it on introduction to UCCE server, and we will see you in the next chapter.